Welcome back, everybody, to another fun gear review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Winnerwell Medium Water Tank. This is for my wood stove, my Winnerwell wood stove, which is a medium. I believe it's called the Nomad. This will also apparently work with Woodlander, which is the Winnerwell that's kind of the round-shaped one. The bottom of it's round. So it'll work on either of those medium size, the ones with the 2.5 inch stovepipe, the 2.5 inch stovepipe. This is constructed of durable 304 grade stainless steel, just like the stove. The price on Amazon for this is $76.99. So I'll give you a quick look at the box, and we're going to get this guy out. I opened this just to make sure it wasn't damaged or a lemon. I always do that with pretty expensive things. So let's get this bad boy out here. Now these instructions are pretty straightforward. They have several items on these instructions, but we're mainly interested in this right here, the water tank and all that. And as you see right here, we got the first time use of the water tank. The steps, we will be doing that to make sure it's good. Once again, cat not included. Alright, let's get this out of the box so you can see it directly. Okay. Alright, now you got this very nice handle that swings down here out of the way or over either way. These two clip holes right here are to clip on the side of the wood stove. Don't worry, we're going to use it on the wood stove here. You have this very nice spigot, and you got a silicone cap here on the handle. That's nice. That's nice and smooth, too. Okay. You can see this is formed pretty nicely. Pretty nice welds. It looks pretty good. You know, let's take a look inside. So this top is hinged. There's our hinges. And if you look down inside, okay, so you want to get in here and clean this out, you'll have to remove this handle, which isn't difficult. It just pops. You pop it off one side, pop it off the other, just like that. And I would use a sponge, like on a stick, and I would get down in there, and I'm going to do that here off camera to give the inside a good scrubbing. Then I'm going to rinse it out. Then we're going to follow the directions on the manual, and we are going to run this through its paces. Now, let's get some product details here. So this is a 3-liter capacity. That's just a little over 3/4 of 1 US gallon. Now when you fill it up, you want to stay below these holes where the handle goes in. In fact, it says here in the manual, it clearly shows you right here, keep the water level below the handle holes. Otherwise you're going to have a mess. So let's get some dimensions here. Some dimensions on this unit. Overall length, that's from the outside here to the outside of the spigot, is 280 millimeters or 11 inches. It is 7.1 inches tall or 180 millimeters. The width of the unit is 110 millimeters or 4.3 inches. Net weight is 1.6 kilograms or 3.52 pounds. And if we, come here, Kira. Oh, now you don't want to be on camera. Just gonna lay down over there. I was gonna say, if you compare it to the size of the cat, it's not huge. Look at my hand here. It's only a 3-liter guy. But I wanted it because, one, it goes with the stove, and two, having hot water literally on tap is kind of cool, especially in the middle of winter. And I plan on doing some winter camping. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to wash it per the instructions, and then we're going to take it outside and let's put it through its tests. We're in the backyard. We have it all set up. You can see I got the water tank in place. This is where you're going to put the water tank to get your water nice and boiling hot. I do want to point out a few things though. When your stove is running, you absolutely have to have a good set of gloves to take this off, to put it on, to handle anything. Otherwise, you're going to burn the hell out of yourself, okay? So, here's the handle. We come in and pull this out. And we got it. And putting it in, we just kind of rock it in and put it in like that. But if you'll notice, the tips of my fingers were touching that stovepipe. You get dangerously close to that stovepipe. See where the handle is? And then once that water's good and hot, we can pull that off there and hang it on the side here. So we still have hot water on tap, as it were. So you can come in here, right in here with a cup and get hot water. Okay? Well, according to the manual, the procedure, I did wash this with Dawn dish soap and rinse it out really good. But it said clearly in the manual to boil 3 pots worth of water and run it through the tap to get this ready for, well, use. And that's probably to get any oils or anything left over from the manufacturing out of the tap, out of the tank. Now, I ran soapy water through here and I ran clean water through here, rinsing it out. But we're going to follow the manual. We're going to boil 3 pots of water and run it through the tap. Okay? So let's get a fire started. As you can see, we got a nice fire going on in here. I'll give you a nice little look. I cheated a little bit today. I used a little bit of newsprint underneath there to get it started. Feeling a little lazy. And some of the wood still got some moisture bleeding off, but not too bad. Alright. I just wanted to show you. There's the water level. I have it about 3/4 of an inch below the hole here, or roughly, I think that's about 1.5 or almost 2 centimeters. And you see, we're not boiling yet. It's only been burning for a few minutes. It's been about almost 5 minutes. Let's take a look. I see some bubbles down in there. See if we can get that on camera. You just can't see it on camera that well. It is forming some bubbles though, so it is warming up the water. It's been several moments since the last time we checked, and I'm starting to hear that noise that sounds like we got water getting ready to boil. That camp noise we all know well. And I can see a lot of bubbles down in there. Let me see if I can get any of that on camera. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can hear that. But we got a little bit of bubble action going on there. And it's just been a little bit over about 6 minutes. Hear that? Can you hear that distinct camp sound? I've heard that so many times in my life, coming from stainless steel cookware, canteen cups, all that. Let's take a look. Ah, we got a little bit of bubble action, more than last time. Can you see? Can you hear that? It's getting ready to boil. We're about 8 minutes in. Look at that. Pretty sweet. It's been pretty close to 15 minutes. And we got a light boil going on in there. I don't know if you can see that. I'll zoom in. But as soon as this turns into a full-blown boil, we're going to move it and hang it on the side there. But I just thought you'd like to see that. Now this is water fresh from the tap, so it was cold. It was not room temperature. So room temperature water, you're probably going to get a faster boil. Plus my flue is wide open. So I'm running the stove extra hot right now. Okay? We're almost 18 minutes in, and look at that. We got a boil. Look at that. Got a full-on boil going on. Okay. Now if you were in camp and you wanted to keep this water hot but not boiling, you would transfer it down here on the side. So that's what we're going to do. First, you come in and get the handle. Lift it off. Notice I didn't touch the stovepipe. Fold this up. Come in here and hook it right on. Hear that? Ooh, that's staying good and hot because the side of this is against the stove, and it's keeping it boiling hot. Look at that. Woo! So you could have boiling hot water on tap, and if you left it on there long term, you'd have to keep adding water to this, but that's good and hot. But this is my break-in procedure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to empty it through the tap, and then I got to fill it up, boil it again 2 more times. So you're running 3 pots of water through it to remove any contaminants. So I will get back to you after I got that done. Now, one thing I do want to point out, I'm draining this, breaking it in per the instructions, but when the tap stops, there's still about a ½ inch of water in that tank, or about 1 centimeter. To get the rest of the water out, you'd have to tip the tank forward. So just be aware of that. You know, even when you have it on the stove and you've run most of the water out, there's still water in it. Now, what I like about this water tank is, even with the water tank on here right now for the greatest heating or fastest heating, is you still have all this cooking area. And trust me, that's good and hot. That ain't no joke. You know, that's hot. That's big enough to put a 10-inch frying pan, no problem, or a large stock pot. And you know, that doesn't take up much room. And then once your water is hot and you're hanging on the side, then you got everything all the way back to the pipe once again. You've got to see the Winnerwell water tank in action, and it's time for my final thoughts. Well, it's well constructed. It's pretty tough. You would have to be pretty negligent to dent this thing. I mean, the thickness of the stainless that this is made out of and the way it's all welded together makes this thing very, very strong. Okay? The valve here, the spigot, works very well. I had no issues with it at all. It heats up relatively quick. All the water I put in here every time I changed it out after I broke it in was straight from the tap, so it was cold water. And it took between 15 and 18 minutes for it to get boiling. So it boils relatively quick. But, you know, it's a little pricey. It's a little expensive. You know, a large stainless steel pot I've gotten from Dave Canterbury's store, Self-Reliance Outfitters, will do almost the same thing. It just doesn't have a spigot on it. So this really is a piece of glamping gear, a luxury thing. You know, you got to decide for yourself, is it worth the expense? But I'm here to tell you that it's very good quality. Now, there is one thing I want to point out about this guy, and that's inside here. And I'm going to see if I can get it on camera. But, okay, let's see if I can zoom in. And get it down in the bottom in there, in that corner. Okay, it's really hard to see. Let me get a flashlight and see if I can... okay. Because in this corner, you see all that? That right there? That is rust. Now, before you say rust, this is stainless steel. It is. It's 304 grade stainless steel. So why are we seeing rust down there? Well, that is right on the line of the weld. And there's a few other spots in here where it was welded that I can see a little bit of rust. Now, what that means is, after talking with a friend of mine who does stainless steel welding, he says, depending on the grade of the welding rod that they used in the process, it might have a very small percentage of iron in it, like 1 or 2%. So, the weld line here, along this whole bottom, where it's all welded, I could get a tiny bit of rust. Does that mean the welds are going to fail? No. That just means I'm going to get a little bit of rust. I'm okay with it. You know, it's just more iron in your dang diet. I don't care. But I can see where some people who are extreme perfectionists, and we all know a few like that, they're going to see that, they're going to flip out, and they're going to want to send this back. Hey, more power to you if that's what you want to do. But I'm just pointing it out that it is there. Okay? And overall, I'm happy with it. Okay? Would I buy it again? Probably. Not a hard yes, but probably. And, Kira, are you okay with it? Yeah, okay. Well, that's all I got to say about the Winnerwell Medium Water Tank. Buy it, don't buy it, that's up to you. Links in the description. Everybody have a great night.